I'm starting off this video in my apartment, and typically that means I'm doing an unboxing, and today is no different. I got about $100 unboxing from the hookup tackle, and then I also have about a $40 unbagging from Walmart. Got some pretty neat things from the hookup tackle, and I got some very good deals from Walmart. Now, the majority of things I picked up from the hookup tackle are from OSP, and basically everything I got at Walmart was on sale, which was pretty cool as well. But enough talking about everything, let's start opening it up. Now let's start with the unboxing from the hookup tackle. For $100. They stuffed a lot of stuff in this small box, but got some paper in the receipt, don't need that though. Now, like I said, a lot of this stuff is from OSP, but a lot of this stuff is from other companies as well. So just kind of to make it easier on myself, I think what I'm gonna do is kind of organize these real quick. Alright, so let's just start off what was on top of the box. This is a Teckle Sharky, I think it's called that. No, a Teckle Sharker, and this color is called Pink Jaws. And when I saw this on the Hookup Tackle's website, I had to try it out. Like, this just looks like a super cool frog. Has like a little feather on the back of it too. I just could not pass up on this. This looks super neat, and it's relatively skinny as well. So I think that's only going to help walking the dog. I would take it out of the package, but it's pretty well stapled. And I don't know if you can see those hooks. Those hooks are pretty spread apart already. So it doesn't typically look like this bait is going to be super weedless. Like if you were to throw this in some thick cover, it does kind of look like those hooks are gonna snag up on some lily pads or whatever. So I would typically use this topwater bait more in like open water where the lily pads or grass and weeds are a little bit more sparse, just because I don't think this is going to work especially well in thick cover. I think this is more of kind of like an open water topwater bait, and that's exactly what I would use it for, is a little bit more open water. Now this Teckle Sharker frog is 3 inches and weighs ½ of an ounce. So you can get away on throwing this on any medium heavy or a heavy if you wanted to. Basically your frog rod, whatever you're using for a frog, you can throw this on. But yeah, can't wait to try this in the springtime for some largemouth and maybe even some smallmouth too. Now moving on to some OSP baits. These are called the OSP Dice Rubbers. Now, I don't know if you've heard of these baits before, but these baits look absolutely crazy. Let me take one out of the package. These are expensive. I paid $15 for each package of these, and they only come with 4 of these rubber dice. And that's basically all it is. It's just like a square, soft plastic with like some strings coming off of it. Now I'm specifically going to use this for a drop shot, and that's why I got the non-salted version. They have a salted and a non-salted, and I got the non-salted, and I guess I got one of each. One salted, one not salted. But you could throw this on a Ned Rig if you wanted to as well. But basically the world is your oyster with this lure. You can do whatever you want with it, but like I said, I don't really want to try drop shotting this bait for smallmouth. And the color I got is green pumpkin. Now the drop shot rod that I typically use like 99% of the time is a medium light power 7-foot rod. This one just so happens to be a St. Croix Premier. So this was the OSP Dice Rubber. Super neat bait, pretty interesting. Can't wait to use this in the springtime for smallmouth and largemouth. I wouldn't see why largemouth wouldn't hit this bait either. But sticking with that OSP theme, I picked up a bunch of OSP Doe-Live beavers, only because in my last unboxing I opened up the Rapala Crush Shitty Meaty Clackers, and I didn't realize this, but those baits came out this year, and it was very much an obvious copy of the OSP Live Beaver. So I figured why not put an order into the original maker just to support the original makers of that beaver bait. And I decided to pick up 5 packages of the Live Beavers. I actually didn't have very many colors left. I think they only had about 4 colors. Just go with the brightest one first. Alright, so these are the 3-inch Live Beavers in a bubblegum pink color. And when I saw this, I immediately thought of Ned rigging this for smallmouth. I think very early spring in pre-spawn, putting this on a Ned rig is gonna look so cool. Just like the Rapala Crush Shitty, they have these big meaty clackers on them, and actually this is gonna kind of work like a hinge underneath the water. I think it's gonna look super good on a Ned rig. And I picked up 3 packages of the 3.5 inch, and I got 2 packages of the Wild Tanaga color, which is basically just like a green pumpkin color with green flake. I will definitely take it out of the package, and just feeling how soft these soft plastics are, the action is going to be great on them, but durability is going to be questionable. But I definitely prefer the softer soft plastics just because you get more action out of them. The harder soft plastics might be a little bit more durable, but the thing is, the action on those baits just aren't very good. I mean, just by holding this thing sideways, this thing just wants to flop around. But this is Wild Tanaga and the 3.5 inch. And then the last package I picked up in the 3.5 inch size is TN Flicker Graipan, which is basically kind of like a green pumpkin with blue flake on top and then a pink belly. I thought this color was super, super cool. And again, of course, we're gonna take it out of the package. These are going to catch some nice smallmouth. Just a super nice color. I just love these big meaty clackers that OSP put on them. I'm not gonna lie, if I could make a soft plastic, I totally would have something similar to these big meaty clackers on them. That's probably what I would call the bait too, the big meaty clacker. So moving on to the last package of the Live Beaver. This is the 4-inch beaver in the color Tanaga, not to be mistaken for Wild Tanaga, just regular Tanaga. And I actually like this color a little bit better. It's green pumpkin with copper flake. I think I like the 4-inch size the most. I think the 2 sizes I might end up buying is the 3-inch and the 4-inch. I might pass up on the 3.5 inch just because the smallmouth and largemouth will have no problem eating this bait. Can you stop, please? As you guys can tell, green pumpkin with some copper flake. It's almost a little bit brownish gray as well, not a truly green pumpkin. Do a side-by-side comparison with the Live Beaver and the Crush Shitty. Black and blue is a Rapala Crush Shitty Bronco Bug, and then on this hand here is the OSP Live Beaver. Very similar baits. These are both 4 inches. Now, as you guys can tell, super similar. It's gonna kind of work as a hinge right there, and it's again a pretty soft plastic, which I like. But honestly, I really don't mind supporting the original makers. The only problem is they don't sell the OSP Live Beaver at My Bass Pro. They sell the Bronco Bug. Alright, so moving back to the bubblegum pink 3-inch Live Beavers. Now, I've never heard of anybody Ned rigging those before, but when I saw those, I just thought that was the perfect little Ned rig bait. Now, although I have a shaky head on it right now, this is typically the rod I use for my Ned rigs. Again, I have a medium light rod, and I have 8-pound test to 12-pound main line. And again, I'm going to be replacing this rod because this rod my buddy sat on and broke the tip off of, so I don't really have a choice but to replace this rod. Now, this is the 3rd and final spinning rod that I use, and even this one isn't fully functioning as well. I actually left it on top of my car and it fell off while I was driving down the road, so the handle's kind of broken, but other than that it works perfectly fine. But I actually do plan on replacing my drop shot, Ned rig, and wacky worm rod, and I do have a medium light rod coming in the mail right now, so I am already replacing one of them. So moving back to the 4-inch Live Beaver, the rod I would typically use on that is a medium heavy rod. You don't have to use a St. Croix. That's just my favorite brand. Basically, any kind of 7-foot medium heavy fast action rod will work. This one happens to be 7'4", so it just kind of has a little bit more of a backbone to pull those fish out of cover. Okay, so that's kind of the end of the baits from the hookup tackle. The next couple things I'm going to go over is just kind of terminal tackle, but this is Sunline SX1, and it is probably my second favorite braid for finesse fishing. I really like YGK. Unfortunately, YGK braid is like 30 bucks for 125 yards, so I kind of go with this little bit cheaper Sunline for 20 bucks. I got it in high vis yellow. Now this 12-pound line is going on my drop shot rod and my Ned rig rod. I'm actually probably going to beef up my line to like 14-16-pound line for my wacky rig rod, only because sometimes I'm targeting bigger bass around cover, and I really need that stronger line to pull the fish away from that cover. And another reason why I really like this SX1 line from Sunline is that it's neutrally buoyant, which means it basically doesn't float or sink, and I really prefer that just because I feel like I get more sensitivity when I get like a direct connection to my line. If I'm using a floating braid for a drop shot, what that is going to do is kind of create like a bow in my line at the end of a cast, and I'm not really going to have a direct connection to my bait, so I just kind of think using sinking braid or neutral buoyant braid is a little bit better for the action of the bait underneath the water. Moving on to the last thing that I got from the hookup tackle, I really needed weighted beast hooks to fish some of the bigger soft plastic swim baits I have. I picked up the 8/0 half of an ounce size. This size is going to be perfect for some of my trash fish, and I also have a working class 0 civilian, I think it's called, that I want to throw with this. Yeah, look how beefy those hooks are. No bass is going to be bending that out in my area. That's one thing that I plan on doing a little bit more of in 2024 is fishing bigger baits. So that is it for the hookup tackle, and all of that was a little bit over $100, but that's not it for the video. I also went to Walmart to pick up some food, and of course I had to go to the fishing section while I was there. Alright, so let's just start off with the soft plastics I picked up. These are the 4-inch Generals in black and blue color from Berkley Maxent. Basically my favorite brand soft plastic. I love the Maxent. I genuinely think the scent they use here just works very well. And just because Maxent stinks, I'm not going to be taking it out of the package. Everybody kind of knows what a Senko looks like. But I picked up 3 packages only because Walmart sells these for over $1 less than Bass Pro does. So when I can, I do kind of pick up my soft plastics from Walmart because it is always a little bit cheaper there. Now, in New Hampshire, lead is illegal under an ounce. So we can't use really any lead jigs or anything like that. So basically we just have to stick to tungsten. And luckily Walmart was having a sale with tungsten bullet weights, and I picked up quite a bit. I picked up 6 packages. I picked up 4 half-ounce packages and 2 quarter-ounce packages. Now these are the baits side by side. Got the half-ounce right here, the quarter-ounce right here. And it was honestly perfect timing, only because I did pick up all those Doe Live beavers, and this half of an ounce Texas rig weight or bullet weight is exactly what I'd be using with those beavers. And yeah, originally these were $7.50 per package, but I was able to pick them up for $4, so almost 50% off, and I basically have like 2 years worth of bullet. So it is the beginning of February right now, so we really only have maybe a month left of ice fishing, of good ice fishing in New Hampshire. And then once we get to March, the temperatures are going to warm up and start melting the little ice we have, so it's just a matter of time until I'm back out there open water fishing. Now I'm not really sure how I feel about that, honestly, because I really do like ice fishing, but these past 2 years in New Hampshire, the ice fishing has been kind of trash, only because we really haven't had safe ice until like January or the middle of January. But to be fair, I don't really care if I'm ice fishing or open water fishing. I just want to fish for bass. Now stay tuned for my next unboxing video. It's just kind of tough getting out there with the weather and having a puppy, so there are going to be a couple more unboxing videos, but thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Peace.